Welcome to Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunt Hangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunt Hangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunt Hangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunt Hangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in and just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. You can enter your questions or comments right over here in the chat box. I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. And understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself. So be patient, and I will ask my illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can do this during a live stream. So like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if you find the Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts that I host or the many building videos, contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Please subscribe, share, comment on the videos. That helps the Stunt Hangar YouTube channel grow. Please also consider joining Stunt Hangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I'm a member myself. I have the $4.99 come out of my own checking account, and I don't have to do that, but I see the value in it, and I believe in it, and I'm asking you to partner up with me and not asking you to do something I'm not willing to do myself. So please partner with me and join. There's two other tiers above that. If you're more fortunate, you can actually do more than the $4.99 a month. Okay. Now, when you join the memberships, what you get is access to member-only videos, and once in a while, Sparky has a question after show, and members. I mean, when we look at the chat box, we can see who our supporting patrons are. So if you want to be one of the people that we see as a supporting patron, please sign up. It doesn't take very much. And if you need help doing that, let me know. I've had some other people who've had challenges signing up, and I've been able to help them on, maybe a private Zoom meeting or maybe on just a phone call. So let me know if you're having problems signing up. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. I only come in here Monday and Friday nights. I don't go too much on the forum. I don't check the YouTube channel for the comments. So if you want to leave a comment or question, please go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. And if you would, locate the 2019 AMA National Championships, which is a video that Sparky shot with his video camera of me flying his beautiful and light Junar XL. And check it out. It's my first time at the Nationals, and it's an official flight that Sparky videotaped. If you do check it out, if you have a comment or question, see, because that's my channel, the Flying Control Line Stunt channel, I will get a notification on my phone, and I'll be able to respond to you much quicker than if you comment elsewhere. All right. I want to thank everybody for who has contributed to our past or present or future support. You are making it happen. Thank you very much for your support. And please keep the conversations family, room friendly. In other words, please don't use words to do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. Any further ado, I'm not going to post a link at the at the Stunt Hangar forum. Let me do that right now. Let me also post this real quick. Hope everybody's having had a good week this week and heading into the weekend. I know there's some people that are heading toward Arizona for Vintage Stunt Championships. I hope some people can still come in even if they're at the contest. It'd be great to hear what their initial feelings are about how the event's going. Let me see here. Oh, let me hit refresh. I just posted the link right now. Just hit refresh, And now let me make my way to what I call the control panel. And let me see here. There we go. Okay, be there shortly. And let me get rid of this here. All right, let me get rid of this. If I sound a little congested, it's just because I went swimming earlier. And that always messes with my sinuses. So I might sound a little congested, but I'm fine. It's just maybe just the reaction to some of the chlorine and chemicals in there. Looks like Bob Whitley is making his way in here. And let me just do a little edit here. And we'll be cooking with gas very shortly. Let me just do a few things here. Let's see. Okay, and that's being set up. Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Yeah, it's been a good day. It's going to be a
Good.
really good weekend.
Oh, great. I'm just finishing up a few things here on the show. I think I got it all set up. Looks like we have 9 concurrent viewers and 0 doesn't show the likes. I don't know why this thing is a little bit different than I normally see it.
Should show one.
I got 9 viewers and yeah, I don't know where the likes are at. Let me look over here. Still getting this computer all set. There's still a few things that aren't the way I normally have them. But anyways, I'll get to that momentarily. And let me see here. We have Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. He says, yo, thank you very much, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights, for coming in. And Gary Sinclair, he's our first member of our YouTube channel in the chat box. I can tell that by the moniker next to his name. And he also has a blue wrench. He's a monitor. He can actually delete you in the chat box if you are misbehaving.
I better
and
be
we
good.
have Henry Bruce, and he says, good evening, all. Good evening, Henry Bruce. Thanks for coming in. And what was he saying, Bob? I didn't quite catch that.
I better be a good boy if he can delete me.
Yeah, well, in the chat box, a little bit different. I can delete you in the chat box here in the gallery. I mean, but in the chat box, I can delete you too. But we do have Gary there, and Gary can delete some misbehavior.
Yeah, we know he's a really mean guy.
Yeah, we're all very, very mean. Look who else is here. Look who's here.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, Gary, thanks for coming in, Gary. I
Hi,
appreciate
John.
it. Good to see you. And hey, John, how's it going, man?
Going good. Got the new computer up and running, and
awesome. That is great. Happy for you.
Me too. Me too.
How's your health doing, John?
Well, I'm still getting over it, but I'm pretty well over it.
Good. We were getting pretty worried. We hadn't seen you in quite a while.
Well, it was mostly the computer problems that was keeping me away.
Mm-hmm.
Just couldn't get anything to work. My old Windows 7 computer just finally gave up the ghost. It needed to be updated, and there was no updates for it.
Yeah. So I'm getting into just about the same thing with my iPad. It's but I'm waiting until April when the new ones come out.
Yeah.
What do you have now, John?
Pardon?
What do you have now?
I've got a
Windows.
What is it?
10?
Let's see. It's Elite Desk. It's a 10-year-old business machine, but it's been all refurbed. It's like new.
Oh.
And then has some added additions to it.
What's the operating system? Is it Windows 10 or 11?
Windows 10.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's what
And I mean, Amazon was selling them for $135 delivered. So, you know,
Not bad.
no.
Hey, Howard Rush is in the house. How you doing, Howard?
Okay.
Hi, Howard.
Good to see you.
Hey, Howard.
And we have Scott Models. He says good afternoon in the chat box. Hey, Scott Models. And then we have Edward Carlaw. He says like sent. Thank you, Edward. And welcome, Scott. I think, Scott, this is your first time in, right? Let me know if you do control line or RC or what you do. I'd be interested to know that. And hey, Bob Whitley. So have you been doing any flying or full
Well,
scale
real
models?
things, no models, of course. Still winter here. Although it's was slightly above freezing today, and it's supposed to be a trend for that for about a week or so. So that'll make for lots of car washes. Yeah. Hey, Howard, you'd mentioned a while back that you'd be willing to cut me a couple of sets of ribs for the Nemesis. And Paul's going down to Northwest Regionals. I'm wondering if that offer still stands, and I'll just send the money along with him, whatever the cost is.
There's no money, but I don't want to go to the bother of mailing them. So if he,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I already
You
talked
want-
to Paul, and he'd be happy to pick him up. He'll be down there.
Okay.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
you're welcome.
You're gonna send him his requirements, your actually requirements you require, Howard, in the email.
I don't need them. Well, I need some wood.
That's what I was thinking. That's where I was coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes a certain kind of wood too, Bob.
Yeah.
No problem, not too many problems setting it up.
Oh,
So
this.
laser cutter.
Yeah, this is not too demanding of wood, I don't think.
Yeah, I just got a hankering to do up some sport flying combat models from my youth. Yours and the Boston and Combat Cats. I got a double kit of that and Voodoos. You know, the usual suspects.
Boston,
I got
huh?
all these Fox 36Xs and 35Xs and super taggers to use up that are just sitting in a drawer.
Yeah.
Let me welcome Brandon and Engstrom. Hey, you guys. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Oh. Hey, everybody.
Hey, so what you
Hey,
been up
guys.
to?
Last weekend we did some flying. It was like first warm day in a while, so it was nice. And I flew the Pathfinder and the stunt wagon and tried to do some of the old time stunt pattern.
Very good. So,
yeah,
yeah.
I got in on. I get in flying too. I did the. I was flying my lightning streak, and despite a couple of efforts to put it into the ground, it seemed like I was able to save it and keep it upright. So,
All right. Very good. That last plane you was working on, did you guys finish that plane or?
no, we were working on the SV11, and we got the conversion kit installed, but then I kind of started looking at it. It looked a little wonked. So I think that the conversion kit, when we originally put it together, wasn't completely squared up. So I cut it out, and we've got some laser cut spacers that we're going to put inside of it to make it perfectly square, just to make sure it's square. And then we're going to try gluing it in again and going from there. So it's taken a step backwards for the moment.
Yeah, that happens. That's part of modeling.
And then we did on that racing plane, the Buster we did finally get the final coats of paint on it, like just the main coats. After, if you remember in the past, when we put the polyurethane on, it destroyed the paint to it. So we finally got the base paint down again, and it's over at Grandma's house here. to get the designs on it, and then we'll put the polyurethane. But we've done some testing on it this time around, and this stuff should stick.
Oh, good news.
And then tonight, our plan is we've got some of the old wood from Junkyard Wars from last year at Brodax.
Yeah.
So we're going to start trying to come up with a couple of junkyard designs and do some prototypes to see if we can kind of get a leg up for Junkyard Wars this year.
That's a great idea.
Won't go off in this float with time capacity.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, guys. Let me see who else came in. Dennis Adamison. Hey, Dennis, thank you for coming. I know you're in Arizona and you've been driving
That's
a lot,
right.
so I appreciate you coming in. Thank you very much.
No, it's good to be here. No, I had 29 hours on the road. Got in here just before noon, and was able to get out, fly some. So used up, got 5 flights and came back and was able to. That was finally late enough for me to check in. Keith Trossel's here, so Keith and I were flying together today. That was fun.
Oh, great.
And near as I can tell, there's not too many people here yet. So I'm going to suck up all the air, all the points out of the air before they get here.
Yeah.
Practice. I'm gonna practice. I got 8 batteries for tomorrow. I'm going to suck all the points out of the air before they get here. So
Good idea.
that's it. That's it. It's only cheating if you get caught. So
Yeah, that's true.
mhm.
And
But yeah, no. All seriousness aside, it's a long trip. Had a really good trip though. I mean, no hiccups or anything. I got to visit with Joe Gilbert on the way down, and made it into his hangar. Got to see his Rans home built and an RV7 that he got from one of his friends, and of course the Chipmunk. So you talk about the ultimate Toy Story. I mean,
no kidding, I know.
he's looking pretty good. So anyway, we went out, got a burger later on. So life is good.
You got to talk him into taking you up in that Chippy. They are so much fun to fly.
That's what he's saying. It's just everything about it. I remember reading somewhere that I think it was a review of a Flying magazine or something like that, and the guy said, once you're in the air, says the first thing you notice is that it's the best balanced set of controls you've ever seen.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Everything works. The ailerons and the elevator and the rudder all feel like they're the same. They're all the same controls. They're not heavy on ailerons and light on elevator or anything like that. Everything is perfectly balanced. So
yeah.
And of course, Joe's
the only thing about it is
it's
it's got really weird brakes.
Yeah, the brakes are on. Apparently, brakes are on a handle.
Yeah, they're pneumatic, and you pull the handle, and when you actuate a rudder pedal, that actuates that brake.
Oh boy! So
it's a little. But they called it the poor man's Spitfire.
Yeah, is it? So if it's an air brake, it's not. It doesn't modulate at all. Then, right? It's just basically an on-off. Oh,
pretty much. You don't really need, except for turning on taxiways. And stopping. You really don't need the brakes. The thing's handles so easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty widespread audio gear.
Yeah, it would wouldn't carry an awful lot of energy, but okay.
My first landing with one was from the back seat, and I hadn't flown a tail dragger in quite a few years, and I just nailed it. It was just so nice to fly.
Oh, it sounds pretty good then. So anyhow, yeah, it just looks right. And of course his is to me it's special because he still has the correct engine in it. The de Havilland engine in it, and it's still in RCAF colors, and so it just looks wonderful. So it's great. So anyhow, just had all in all pretty nice trip, and couldn't ask for much better. And so now just get down to the fun business of flying toy airplanes for fun and profit. So
like Cunningham used to say, he's only in it for the money and the women.
Yeah, that's right. Well, my woman is coming down next week. She's got to work a couple of days, and she's going to come down and join me on Wednesday. So
There you go. You'll have it all.
I have it all. Well,
Nick?
not that even the hotel they found us. There's a Dairy Queen right next door. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
You're going to put the diabetic sitting 200 feet from a Dairy Queen. What could go wrong?
Yeah, that would be my life too. I love Dairy Queen. We're just raised on it, and picking up diabetes, it just spikes my blood sugar. But once in a
that's
while,
it.
I just say to hell with it, and I go there and have something.
Yeah, I mean, all I got to do is look at the sign, and you can see the arrows start climbing. So yeah. So anyhow, but yeah, looking forward to a good for a good week or so. The competition doesn't actually start until Wednesday, so I'm here really early. But I wanted to be able to fly some, and because of course, I haven't flown, and I have my classic airplane is brand new, so not not the best not the best way to go into a contest after a 3-day trip. But what the heck?
How many flights you got on that, Gypsy?
I'm sorry.
How many flights do you have on that Gypsy now?
I have 2 patterns on it.
Oh boy. That's
I'm
better.
still had a little issue. The wings still battling wings level and stuff like that. But frankly, everything feels pretty good. And so I'll just have a little bit of that. The bounce felt good. Most important thing is it had a good handle neutral and stuff like that. And so I should be able to just hunker down and get to work tomorrow. Any last bit, a little bit of trimming, and the trimming will be, it'll be one of those 90% trim things. It's not going to be enough time to really nail it down. But again, I don't know. I've gotten into the habit where when I trim airplanes, it's an ongoing thing. So I think I'm gonna have to take a little bit of tip weight out, but right now it's not today's problem, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it's it's not enough to be a problem. It's just enough that, in fact, I'm probably the only one that can see it. So then along with that, I brought the Ringmaster and the All American. So
Dennis, if it's too much tip weight, there's an easy solution. Put steel lines on. Get rid of your.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Bob. I can't hear you.
You talking
no,
to me?
Well, Chris McMillan, the last time he was in here, he said he would like to try some of the Spectre lines, but he hasn't been back, so I don't know exactly what's going on. So I actually brought a bunch of Spectra along, and if anybody wants to see how to make Spectre lines, if anybody wants to set up Spectre lines, they don't know it, but they're going to be making their own with for me looking over their shoulder, and I figure that's the best way to do that. So
I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Take out the mystery of it,
Well, I know. I think there's a lot of people who said they'd like to try it, and they're not trying it because they're terrified of tying knots and stuff like that. And it's okay. You want to use it, that's fine. You don't want to use it, that's fine. There's a lot of people. Keith is using the Ukrainian lines on his old timer. All right, so that's an answer. Why not? Why the heck not? So, but for anybody who actually wants to try them, I got some stuff along here, and we'll see if we can help them out.
All right. Excuse me.
So
Let me see what Stuart Morse has been up to.
Still alive.
Still alive?
Yep.
Good.
I got a question actually.
All right.
When do you use the pusher props? Or do you?
Oh, only when I fly.
Only when you fly.
Yeah.
So are they for like an engine in the back? Is that what they're for?
Yeah.
For a glow engine, that's what they're designed for. So yeah.
For a rear engine.
Yeah, basically any glow engine where you want to direct the air, the opposite direction from normal. So yeah, you put it on a pusher or something like that. Well, put it this way, you put it on a glow engine, it's going to be a pusher no matter what end of the airplane you have it on. So
I
you
know.
don't
I
want to
just
push it forward or push it backwards. So
yeah, I just happened to pick up a couple of them, so I just wasn't sure.
mhm.
So,
Make yourself a Dornier 335 and then see if you can find anyone to launch it for you.
Good one.
I
You know,
just got another question here.
I was at the FCM contest here crap, it's been several years ago now. And there was somebody, one of the scale guys had a profile scale model of the Cessna 337, you know, the centerline thrust. And he had a pusher prop and a back motor like he should, but he had it on backwards.
Oh.
So he had, if you the curved part of the airfoil was towards the back of the airplane, and I pointed it out to him. I says, "Hey, you know, I suppose you're getting about 30% efficiency thrust this way, but you really ought to turn that thing around, you know."
Right.
I got one of
So
those machines.
So did he?
So no, I got one of the ones he's talking about, the line, an RC one.
okay,
I got one other question here. This is on the Nobler,
Make it big here. Just 1 second.
and I want to. It's a little. If I take this and steam it, so I can warp it a little bit, will that cause problem with the monocoat at all?
it might. There were the kind of problems it might cause as the wood moves underneath it. You may have to go back with a monocoat iron and just get any wrinkles out.
Okay.
Can't really
I'm
tell you
not
for
sure if
sure
I'm
until
gonna
you
do
do
it
it.
or not, but I'll see how it's done when I'm done here working on it. I'll find out. If I do, I might do it just a little bit. It's not too bad actually. So we'll see how it goes.
But you just have
But
a
it's just,
gap between the wing and that part. Is that what you
Yeah,
want?
the front and the back, there's a bit of a gap, but it's not well, there's a gap, but it's not too bad. So we'll
no, wait,
see.
you said twist it. Do you mean twist it or bend it?
Bend it so that it arcs.
Okay, I misunderstood you.
So I arc it this way.
Mhm.
So it's like on the bottom here. I want to bring it down at the ends here and here.
Yeah.
Just a
Mhm.
little. So I didn't know if I could steam it up just a bit and then kind of put it on there and see if I could bring it around a little bit. But
Mhm.
we'll see.
Or just peel the covering back on the where it's tucked under and sand it back a bit in the high parts so it lowers.
Yeah, I could do that too. But I didn't want to disturb it if I didn't have to, because then I don't know.
Mhm.
Well, you're going to have glue to deal with anyway. So, yeah, I mean, to get it really stuck down, you probably should be going to bare wood anyway.
You know what you could do instead of steaming? I don't know how good you are with steaming and stuff. I've never had much luck with it. You know, it's always hard getting control of steam and stuff. I
One of those
would saturate it with like Windex or something like that, and then put the wing in the fuselage, and then put that thing down and pull it down with tape. Don't glue it. Just pull it down with tape and let it sit overnight.
That's what I
See
was
if it
kind
gets
of
any
thinking
better.
of doing. See, but I wasn't sure. Well, I was gonna
Yeah,
use steam. Windex, if I can use that, I could use that too.
Yeah, the neat
So-
thing about that is that you don't burn your fingers or anything like that. But it's a little slower way to
Yeah.
do it. The what you might do where it's touching right now, try to put like a popsicle stick under it or something like that. So when you bend it, you try to overbend it a little bit.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And
Okay.
because if you just pull it down, it'll move like most of the way, but it might not move all of the way. So if you can
Yeah.
overbend it a little bit, that usually and don't overdo that. I mean, say the thickness of a popsicle stick, or if you got some, I don't know, maybe 16th or even a little strip of 3/32 balsa or something like that. and put it where,
Yeah.
where it's touching right now, and then just stretch it down.
And
Yeah, I
another
can see that.
downside with steam is it would probably bugger up the monocoat or bubble it or something.
Well, I think almost even the water might, but actually even then you got a chance for the water to all escape and everything, the Windex. I mean, you got a chance for it to dry out, stuff like that. I think, but if it just wrinkles the monocoat a little bit, that's pretty painless, but compared to almost anything else you can do. So
Yeah.
okay, just make sure, don't be in a hurry. Steam would be faster because you'll know instantly if you got it or not. But the water will take like overnight, and just let it dry out real good overnight, or even overnight plus a half a day or something. I mean, don't be afraid to let it go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
I
should be
don't-
okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Go ahead,
Wow.
John. I'm sorry, Dennis. Hang on.
Oh, Dennis, are you done?
I was just going to ask if anybody else on the board had tried anything like that, in whether they had any other suggestion that might work.
I just use a Jack Armstrong method. Put it on her, glue it down, tape it so it can't move, and let the glue dry.
Just run some number 10 wood
explains the
screws in.
pythons in, huh? So,
Yeah,
Just run a couple of big wood screws in.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Charles, I just wanted to ask you, did anybody seen on the forum where Brent Williams posted Roger Kramer from our club up here did a really good demo on covering with polish band
band.
in one piece. And it really was good. I learned a little bit from that one.
I gotta
that
watch
one's
it.
gone far and wide, John. That's on our our Facebook site, and a couple. I saw it on a couple of the other control line Facebook sites also. So it's
that's
gone far and
excellent.
wide.
That's excellent. Yeah, well, Roger's a darn good builder. He's new, not new, but he's not been in control line that long, but he's been in RC for a long time. So he knows how to build.
Yeah, I saw his P51 at Las Vegas last year. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So
What do you
Charles,
mean in
sometime
one
tonight,
piece?
I've got about 3 show and tells. If we want to wait for a bit until we got a few more.
All right,
Okay.
sounds good.
Dennis, what it means in one piece.
Yeah.
A lot of people when they put a polish band on, they don't do the wingtips because they can't get
Oh,
the
okay.
wingtips to form. And so he shows how to do that.
Okay. Okay.
Without having to have an industrial heat gun and oven mitts on.
Yeah.
Oh,
In fact, all he uses is a sealing iron.
Mm-hmm.
wow. Let me get to Ed Watsky. Hey, Ed, how you doing?
Oh, hey everybody. I'm doing pretty good, and that not much to report as far as flying goes or building. But I did get something from Dennis, and I sent him a message. So
Great.
so if you're not able to read it, I'll be sending you something tomorrow as far as an email goes and stuff.
That sounds great, Ed. I got that out just before I left the door, and I thought, okay, one of these nights I got to send Ed a message and warn him it's coming. So, hey, Ed,
Yeah.
it's there. Okay.
Yeah, well, they delivered it to the wrong address.
Oh,
Luckily-
terrific.
Luckily, the company called me, and we had to go pick it up and stuff.
Okay, I used the one that was on your email. So is that the wrong
Yeah,
address?
yeah, they don't know how to read.
Oh, that's even
we
better.
have a severe problem with all the companies getting if it's coming to my hangar address, all the companies on the field and the schools, you never know where it's going to end up once they change the mail person and stuff.
geez.
And complaining and proving it to them hasn't helped so far.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I'm going to take a minute and publicly thank you, Ed, for your efforts on my behalf for those C-Fire plans.
Oh, yeah, and that'll get shipped out this coming week.
No rush, but I just want to make sure everyone knew what a great guy you are.
Thanks.
Fantastic. Let me see here. And then I think it was Lynn Burrell. Hey, Lynn, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming in.
Hi, guys. Good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, Lynn.
still working away on the Nobler.
All
Got
right.
it
You're not done with
basically
that?
ready for glass on the nose now and covering in paint. That's it. Everything else is done. Fillets are done. Canopy details are all done. Canopy's on. Yeah, it turned out coming along nice.
You actually have a see-through canopy on it?
Yeah, do you want to see?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll bring it up. Hang on.
All right.
All right, sounds good. And then Carl Reed. Hey, Carl, thanks for coming in, man.
Hi, Carl.
Today it was Steve Maganelli and myself and Joe Mata. I'm not hearing anything from you, Carl. All right, well, thumbs up. That'll work. And then Steve, I'll get to you after Lynn Burrell, okay? And Tom Knight is making his way in here as well. Waiting to see this. Make you big now.
I forgot to say, I got Mark's message in regards to what was sent to the AMA, and it was a job well done with what he did there. If you guys haven't seen it yet.
No, I have not seen it yet.
Naomi pulled this off the internet of Bob Giesche's original Nobler cockpit detail.
Right.
So what I did is I basically just tried to duplicate that.
All right.
So this is what I got.
Oh wow.
I don't know how well.
Yes.
That looks good.
That's pretty spiffy there, Lynn.
That's
Turned out pretty nice.
it's outstanding.
What is that, a modified motor mount?
Motor mount?
That chair, is it a modified motor mount?
Oh
It
yeah,
kinda looks like
modified motor.
It kind of
That's
looks like,
well, it's pretty close to what he had in there. So
yeah, it is.
yeah, I'm pretty happy with the whole thing. It's turning out really nicely. It's
Looks
working
good.
well.
It looks good.
31 and a half ounces with everything in.
Wow.
So hopefully we can keep it at about 40.
Yeah.
That'll be an outstanding flyer. You do that.
Thank you. Yeah,
Very
let's hope
nice.
so.
Looking nice.
You got a
That's
broken
a
cowl
46
on,
in
so-
there. No, that's Fox 35, isn't it?
Fox 35. Yep.
Excellent.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
say that's a true Gieske Nobler, except no substitutions. So that's the real thing.
Well, there's a couple of substitutions. I put lighter wheels on. I put those really light foamy wheels on there. I don't think they were around back when Bob was doing it.
No, they weren't.
He was probably using a Williams wheel or something like that.
Yeah, early on, I think he was using like K&B knife edge or something, silly.
Okay.
Those were they were kind of heavy, but they were skinny.
About a 5-pound wheel each. No big deal.
Yeah.
What
I,
about those,
I
banner
remember
wheels?
Bob saying that he could really tell the difference in how his airplane flew with or without the wheel pants, and he insisted on that they seriously improved the airplane. So
Well, that's good to hear then. I tried to
Yeah.
make them as thin as possible. I know his were really thin. So
yeah,
I tried to really slim this thing down as much as I could. And I got the wheels and the wheels and the pants weigh 1.25 ounces.
it doesn't sound so bad.
So that's pretty good.
Well, at least at least half of that is the wheel, right? So
Yeah, the wheels were 0.4 ounces each. So
yeah,
that's 0.8 ounces. So almost 1 ounce was the wheels. And then I just
Yeah.
used really light balsa for the rest of it. And the way I've
And not a
mounted
lot
the
of
wheel
it, yeah.
pants, the way I mount the wheel pants is I put on the inside of the pant, on the inside part, I put a metal plate onto the pant with a hole drilled into it, with holes drilled into it, so it bonds to the side of the pant, and then one hole for the axle to come through. Then I glue my fairing onto the landing gear wire, a 3-lam of 1/8-inch balsa. So then I cut the angles and I glue it on with epoxy, as well as gluing it onto the wire, and then put the cap on, the third piece on the other side. After I've put that on, that sets it where I want it. And then what I do is I solder the plate to the wire on the inside.
Right. Yeah. So basically your washer, inside washer, is also a plate that holds the wheel pant. So that's great.
Exactly. And then I put a washer next to the metal plate that goes up against the wheel. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's
So
a lifetime
good,
system.
nice and light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty durable, so it's worked good for me.
Very cool.
That's great.
Naomi says it wouldn't be good if she stepped on it.
That's true.
No, it wouldn't be a good night.
Thank you, man. Hey, Stephen McBride, how you doing? You have Ruben there, and I was giving me a little bit of a challenge. I was thinking, I know it's not Ruben, it's Stephen. Stephen, how you doing?
Very good. Thank you. Yeah.
So what you been up to?
Yeah, now every once in a while when the weather is good enough to fly, I get out and I'm practicing, getting ready for VSC next week.
Fantastic.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Have you hooked up with Mark Lumen? I know he's staying in Vegas for a month.
Yeah, he's here this month. He contacted me and he said he's out here. He's putting together a couple airplanes so he can have some to fly out here for a month. So he got in touch with me about that and wanted to know if the local hobby shops were around here. So we hooked up that way, and we'll probably hook up yet and get flying together.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be good to have somebody to fly with, a good flying buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Field conditions are nice out there right now, so I'm liking that. On the grass field where I have to fly, the field conditions are really good out there, so practice has been good when the weather's working with me.
Well, that's good, man. I'm glad to hear it. Let me see what Tom Knight is up to. What's you up to, Tom?
Oh, not much right now. I just finished a kind of a what cut.
You just finished what?
A what cut.
A what cut?
Yeah, well, Lynn Burrell had an old wing in his shop down there that he wasn't using. So I kind of went at it and made a what cut. It was an old Vector wing that was out of an ARF kit. So I went at it and turned it into
I'll make it big here. 1 second.
A bit of an airplane.
All right.
And Len, he's kind of happy with what I did with it. Because like I say, it's an old Vector 40 wing out of ARF.
Right.
And I just turned it into a bit of an airplane, I guess.
Very good. Very good.
It come out just a little over 40 ounces when I was all done. It's got a LA 46 on it, as you can kind of see.
Yeah, I
there.
can see that.
So I don't know. We're kind of hoping it flies pretty good.
I hope so.
Done
Good.
magic on the wings here and there. So.
Well, Tom, mine flies really good, and I basically did the same thing: salvaged an ARF wing and built up a profile fuse for Vector, and it's trimmed out real easy.
Yeah, this is seeming to be pretty good right now. The balance seems to be really good on it. And
yeah,
I don't know. Once the
I'm running the same
good,
thing in LA 46.
Once the weather gets good, I'll find out how it flies.
Yeah, I hope it works out well.
Yeah. Lynn was kind of happy.
Good, Tom.
Kind of a piece of junk sitting around, and I done something with it.
Yeah. Now, did you make up the stab and elevator and the rudder? That's your design, or that's
Yeah, pretty much. It's all built up. It's not a solid stab and elevator. It's built up and covered. So yeah, I don't know. We'll
so?
find out.
When are you going to fly it?
Well, we don't get the weather here for another month or so. So
So where are you at, Tom? I don't know where you're at.
I'm in Dresden.
He's near me.
I live right by Lenny. We're just kind of neighbors, really.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
We're in the same town.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Okay.
Not that that's a great thing sometimes, but
Well, I mean, you got good people there, you know, Lynn Burrell and Naomi and
Brad LaPointe.
Brad LaPointe, yeah.
And now Stewart doesn't live close to you guys. Stewart is pretty far. Stewart.
Yeah, he's maybe half an hour away from us.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and I'm pretty close too. I'm only about 1,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen you at the field lately.
Well, you'll have to get out to the bean field sometime.
Yeah, and you'll have to get out to Field of Dreams here sometime too.
I would love to, but health issues won't let me go. So,
you know, Charles, while we're on the subject of Vector 40s, we were discussing a couple of weeks ago about the differences between the SV11 wing and the Vector.
Yeah.
So I dug out my plans for the Vector and a wing from an SV11 if you guys want to see how similar they are.
Yeah.
Okay, let me switch cameras around here and stuff. Oh, and also, look what I got.
Let me see what you got.
My Super Kager 60s with the Brian Gardner conversion, brand new, fresh.
Very nice. Oh, very nice.
Now you can make a twin.
Yeah.
Pull your arm off.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll, okay, let me switch cameras here. Okay, that's the Vector 40 plans. And if we take an SV11 wing and put the outboard tip over the plans,
Yeah.
they are exactly the same. A little bit of a change in shape, and the flap is a little bit proportionately longer on the Vector 40. But if you look at the root, they just added on a couple more ribs with more cord to give the span for the SV11. But otherwise, they are absolutely identical, like we were kind of thinking they might be.
Okay. Well, that's
Not surprised.
So anyway, there's that. And I'll show you one other thing. The breakfast club we do every Friday with a bunch of the old guys from Control Line and RC days. One of the guys up and gave me this. It's an RC sort of sport combat model from SIG.
Oh, very cool.
And probably be a lot of fun when I get around to it, if I get around to it. You know, put it on the list of 50 other kits to build.
Right.
But anyway, there's some really good people out there. And another of the fellows gave me some old sets of plans too, that were kind of neat from back when, including a British slow combat model, it looked like, from late 70s, early 80s, somewhere in there. I'd never heard of it. So Paul and I were looking at it and figuring, it's probably a good flying plane, but not much point since we have so many planes that are like slow combats anyway.
So that box showed like several different iterations of that same plane?
Yeah, it came with, I guess it came with 4 different decal sets, so you can paint it up however you want.
Okay.
All it is color scheme. And it's set up for an 09 engine. So, of course, just for you, Len, I'll put my NE09 on it. And because I know how much you love them. And then they say put on a hot 15 to 19 for, really balls to the walls. But I'm kind of thinking if I put a modern 15 or 19 on it, it'd probably really honk.
Yeah.
It might need a little more part of the .09 is a control line plane.
Well, that's John. I'm actually kind of toying with that thought of making it a control line plane instead of a 3-channel RC, because it just looks like a sport combat plane.
Does, doesn't it? Yeah, you'd actually put a little trike gear on there and have a ball.
Heck with the trike gear, just use a launcher. It's 37.5-inch span and 338 squares.
Yeah.
So, if I threw on an LA 25 or something on that, it'd probably be a fun flyer.
Probably twist your socks off though.
It wouldn't be any different than any other fast combat plane, would it, John?
No.
But anyway, the price was right, and it's a early, SIG kit from the 1990s, so it's probably pretty good wood in it. It's still wrapped in cellophane. I haven't opened it.
Very cool. Well, let me
Anyway,
say hi.
that's all I got for show and tell.
Thank you very much, Bob. Let me say hi to Bob Hunt. Hey, Bob. Glad to see you. I've left a couple messages. I know you've been having some health challenges and you're in pain, so I just figured you'd give me a call when you get a chance. Well, I can't hear you, Bob. Yeah, we can't hear you. Can't hear you.
On microphone.
Huh.
Are you plugged in? Is it mic plugged in?
Shows
No
he's not
connection.
muted. That sounds like what I was going through.
And if we haven't mentioned it, it's Bob's month.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
His turn in the barrel.
Bob's got technical difficulties.
Yeah, let me go to Tryon while he figures that out. Hey, Tryon, thanks for coming in.
To be here.
So what you been
Just
up
here.
to? What you been up to, Tryon? Oh,
Washing.
oh,
Waxing the mold now.
yeah. Let me see that again. Let me see the mold again. Oh, wow, look at that.
Oh,
oh, nice.
Just one of them. This is a nose mold.
This is for which model is this?
Revolutions nose.
Revolutions.
Okay.
is this a new mold or?
No, it's I took the semi-permanent off of it, which meant I had to sand everything back down, remove it. You have to physically remove that because it's basically like a glue to the surface.
Yeah.
At that point. And I sanded everything off, and now I have to go put several coats of wax, and after that I'm ready for PVA and to make some parts.
Yeah, you're going through it all over again, aren't you?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I decided to go the easier way. There are a lot of people out there that are very successful with just doing a wax and PVA, and actually a lot of people that are very successful doing wax only. And when they do wax only, they also do painting in a mold as well. So let's see what it takes me. For now, I'm going to stay with wax and PVA, keep something simple. Paint-wise, basically just a background color, like all white or all whatever, or maybe some touch-up colors here and there, and just leave the carbon shine through, right? And after that, if I decide to put some extra lines, whatever, I'm gonna do it after that. So just keep it simple because I'm tired of this. Come on, girls. Sometimes things that sound good, they're not exactly that good. So
I've run into that before.
So that's my story to that.
You stick it to it.
I'm just putting the first coat of wax on the rear side of the rear fuselage. There'll be the left side. Huh?
That wasn't me. That was someone else.
So that's that. Just
all right.
When do you think you'll be ready to do your fuselage then? I mean, to make the next one.
Yeah, so my next plan is to make a new nose for the old plane,
Mm-hmm.
and after I'm done with that new nose for the old plane, I'm gonna put that plane together, get it up in the air, and start flying it. And after that, I'm gonna start to build two more for this year and future endeavors, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to be done with this stuff. I just don't want to be in a situation where I only have one flyable plane, and if something happens to it, I mean, I'm screwed, right?
Right.
So
I know
You're gonna go double depth on your backups.
yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, I'm gonna have a practice plane, which could be the yellow plane, which just go nuts on it, right? Find good setups and stuff like that. I'm gonna copy the setups and stuff them on my main plane. I'm gonna fly that one until to make sure that it's just identical to the practice plane. After which, I'm gonna make another backup plane, in case yet.
Yeah.
So
In case you hit your field box.
yes, yeah, no, that will never happen again, ever. Ever.
Yeah, but we're not going to let you forget.
I know. I have a yellow rag in my flight box.
Right.
Time I go and I put my lines up, my rag is in my hand. What I do, I just toss it even further down. So when I fly, I want to make sure the rag is between me, the box, when I'm landing. No way I'm gonna give him anything.
Yeah, good idea. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And this is flat; it stays on the ground. It doesn't. It's very visible. Plus, you don't when you step on it. It's no big deal.
Very good.
What I've been doing is carry a fluorescent can of spray paint with me, and I mark out where my safe spot is a circle.
Honda's different ways to skin a cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, when I make my circle with cones, I have a yellow cone in the very center, and my radius of my circle is 90 feet. So I move to the center where that yellow cone is, and no matter where I take off from, I'm going to be very clear of anything like that.
Don't step on it.
Yeah. Well, it's not my best cone. It has been stepped on, because we have people who fly.
Don't trip on it. That's the
yeah. Don't
what
trip.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, no tripping over it, or you'll be practicing your overhead eights till you get up.
You were building a new nose for your airplane.
Right.
Oh, that was not it. That's not what happened.
I know.
Wasn't nice.
I couldn't help it. It's just laying there.
So, Bob Hunt, is your mic working now?
Is it working now?
Yeah, it is.
You better believe it.
Good job, Bob. Good job.
That could be bad news for all of you.
No, I don't think so. I think it's good news. I was actually, my son had to get his guitar worked on, so I was inside Guitar Center yesterday, and I was thinking about you. And they do have some tools in there. Not the heavy duty. What's the term? Lutheran? What's it called? The
Luthier.
Luthier.
They didn't have really heavy going luthier tools, but they had some tools. And I was thinking about you. So what you been up to? I know that not all of it has been pleasant, but how you doing?
A little better. I've found some exercises that help my back. I've gone to a chiropractor. I went to a surgeon. You guys probably don't want to know about all this, so I'll make it brief. Oh, I went to a surgeon. For those of you who don't know, back in 1968, I broke my back in the service, and they didn't tell me I broke my back. And I've had progressively worsening disc involvement, scoliosis, stenosis. I got the trifecta. So it got real. If you're going to win a lottery, that's not the one to win. I went to a surgeon recently, and he looked at the x-rays, and he said, well, you're a candidate for surgery. He said, but he says it's about a 12 to 15-hour surgery. We got to go through your stomach to your backbone, through your back to your backbone. We're going to fuse 6 or 7 vertebrae to straighten out your back. You'll never be able to do an overhead 8 again. Well, not that I could before. He said it's about 2 months in the hospital and then 2 years recovery at home. He said, don't do it. So I've been going to a chiropractor at his suggestion. and things are getting a little better. And I found some exercises that help. So that's why I've been kind of like absent. But also, my dog is recuperating from a second CCL surgery, so she's doing fine.
Oh, good, good.
That's
Since she
good.
doesn't have three rear legs, she won't have another one, so that's good, you know. So that brings you up to date on me. So
Very good.
yeah,
I imagine that's kind of slowed you down as far as in your shop and building, right?
the shop has got cobwebs in it.
Oh,
Actually, I've been out there doing a little work, helping Tom Huff finish up an airplane.
Oh, nice.
And doing a couple other things, but basically it's been watching the dog 24/7, you know.
Right, right.
But we took her to the surgeon today, and he said she's 60% healed. She's doing great. Showed us the X-rays, and she's going to be fine. So,
Oh, that's good. Glad to hear that.
it's only $17,000.
Yeah.
it's worth it though.
I didn't want a new car anyway.
We used to have a cat. We called him our $10,000 cat, and that's probably a pretty conservative estimate on what the vet bills were, but it was worth it.
Yeah, they're family members. You know, you take on the responsibility, and they're family members.
Right.
Yeah.
She's good.
Over their lifetime span, you spend a lot of money.
Good thing
Just
they
every
don't
year,
do
my
much
cat would
longer.
get into something. I would have to spend like $500-$600 to fix it. Fix him because he was getting in fights with other cats or God knows what else.
Let me say hi to Spark.
We lost two of them last year, and one was 19. You know, it was her time. The other one wasn't expected.
Hey, Sparky, how's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. What are you doing? I mean, I know what you're doing.
I went out flying today with a couple of my friends, Joe Mata and Steve Maganelli, and had a good day. I know it's probably too cold for you, to fly, right?
Windy and rainy today. It's not good weather here in the Midwest. It won't get good till April, March, end of March, beginning of April.
Boy, that plane is so shiny.
Yeah, working on it. It'll take another 100 hours to get it finished, rubbed.
Well, I'm happy
Yeah,
to
I don't
hear
know
that.
if you were watching about 10 minutes ago, Sparky, where I showed the SV11 compared to the Vector 40. Remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking they might be the same wing, and they are. They just have two more root ribs on the SV11.
Okay, that's
Actually, if you think about the SV11 came before the Vector 40.
Yeah.
So that's how they make the Vector 40. They cut two ribs out of the SV11 wing and just made it a 40 size.
Yeah, and the flaps are a little bit different. They're a bit shorter proportionately on the SV11, but I think about the same area in the end with a wider root.
well, unfortunately, when we took Steve's airplane out to fly it, you know, the Mini V, Spectrum Mini V, it flew good. He only had 3 1-minute flights. We brought it back. We're trying to get a propeller on it. The timer took a crap, so we couldn't get it to start. So he took it home, put a new timer in it.
Needs more nitro.
Yeah, lots more nitro.
Funny.
I think it'll be okay. This one here,
Charles, I'm gonna have to shut down, so I just came on for a bit. I got a big day tomorrow. We got an all-day seminar on our involvement in Ukraine, and then I've got a military mess dinner to go to at the head table. So it's be put on the old fancy mess kit and the medals and go there, and it still fits 20 years later. So I guess I'm doing okay.
You are.
You gonna wear your kilt?
No, I'm wearing my military mess kit for this one.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, Bob. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Hopefully see you Monday.
Cheers.
Bye now.
All right.
Take care.
So, Bob, I mean, Sparky, I was very intrigued that you said that this plane flies better than your Junar XL.
Yep. It's lighter, it's much lighter, so it turns a lot better, turns a lot flatter. So,
wow.
52 ounces. So the XL was 58, I think. I got a lot more snap in the turn.
Well, I'm happy for you. That's awesome.
Yeah. The other one, I have to take it back out. It's got a. I had to steam the flap and twist it because it was flying with. I think it was flying with the wing upright and down. And I got to looking at it, and I guess I put one coat of dope too much on one side of the flap. It tweaked, it twisted. These are built up, these services here, they're just perimeters with ribs in it and covered. So they twist pretty darn easy. Not a lot of structure there.
It looks good. I'm happy for you. That looks good.
Thank you. I just was doing props today. I did 3. I got 1 on it. These are 13.6 rev ups.
All right.
And there's 1 on it. And I'll rub them out. They got spray shine on them, because prop takes a pretty good beating. So I went ahead and put urethane on it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, Sparky. I appreciate it. And Jim Warnholt is here. Hey, Jim, thanks for coming in.
Hi, Charles.
Hey, Jim.
How you been?
After 8 days in the hospital, pretty good.
Oh, back in the hospital? Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, it's okay now, though. I'm feeling fine.
Good.
I just got home Wednesday, so I'm just taking it easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
easy.
I want to show you something. I'm going to wear this at the Nats this year. This will bring back some memories for you, Jim. I'm sure you.
Okay.
Let me grab it here. I'm going to wear this shirt at the Nats. I think I've probably got one of the only 2 left in the world. They're not men left.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Oh, my. That's pretty. Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
That put some use on it.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's really nice.
That's,
Thanks, Sparky.
Schaefer's Yellow Jackets.
You're gonna look pretty snappy with that on,
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
But you remember that shirt? You remember that logo from years ago, right? Ron O'Toole wore one.
Pardon me?
Ron O'Toole wore one. And I can't remember who else did, but
Probably Gary Zeller.
yeah, Gary Zeller, Lou
Yeah.
Zeller.
Now, what about O'Toole? Did he wear that? Did he have one of those
He did way back when.
when he could get into it?
Yeah. Well, he probably had a bigger one. Of course, I don't know. He wasn't that big when he was younger, was he? He was.
No. He was thin. Yeah, I bet he didn't weigh, I don't know, 140. No, he's pretty thin.
Hey, Jim, this is an anniversary week for us.
Yeah, that's right, isn't it? I thought about that the other day. I can't plan anything in March, Bob. It's just not the right month for me,
Do all of you know the story behind that?
I do. Yeah.
I don't. What's up?
Well, last year, it was not this past October, the October before, Jim called me up and we were talking, and he said that one of his bucket list items was to go to VSC. He was thinking about driving to VSC. And I said, gee, I'd love to make that trip. He said, well, why don't we make it together? He said, you drive out here, we'll get my brand new Honda Pilot that he has, and we'll drive down to Tucson. So I called up Mark Klipinski and I said, hey, how'd you like to have 2 old buddies visit you at your house for a week? He says, I don't know. Let me think about it for a minute. Okay. And, and we had it all planned out. I was supposed to drive out to Jim's house, pick him up, or drop off my car, get everything in his car and go down to Tucson. And I'm not a big cell phone guy, as many of you probably know. I'm very anti-technology. So I turned off my cell phone and drove 700 miles to Indianapolis. And when I got there, I found Jim in a boot and with a walker in front of him, and he couldn't even get up to answer the door. It turns out he had that, was it a shark's foot or whatever it was, that with a
Yeah, I
bone?
had a broken bone, went down through the bottom of my foot.
He was getting ready to go and he getting all the stuff out and he saw blood all over the floor. He had to have emergency surgery. So I got there and we thought about driving another, well, let's see, it was another 3/4 more, another 2,100 miles or so by myself. The next morning I got up and drove back to Billy Reverage's house, spent the night there, and then went home. So I logged 1,400 miles not going to Tucson last year.
I'm sorry, Bob. I'm still sorry.
Oh, hey, not your fault.
I'll just have to walk a little lighter next time so I don't break any bones.
I built 2 brand new Caprices to take out there and everything. Gee whiz.
And they were nice too. They were pretty.
Pardon me 1 second. I got some messages in the chat box. Marcel Legrand. Oh, make me back up. Scott's Models. He said he does plastic kits, but I know Sparky, and I know Sparky knows you. He's referred to Scott Models before on the live streams.
Oh, all right. Is that old school models you mean?
I don't know. He just says plastic kits. He builds plastic kits.
Yeah. My memory's not as good as it used to be. I probably know him or visited his channel or something.
Yeah, and I think you visit his channel. His channel. I have a message from Marcel Legrand. He says, "Hi, Charles, and everyone at Stunt School. Thank you, thank you, Marcel." And Philip Bailey says, "Like delivered. Very good to see both Bob Hunt and Big John Miller. Welcome back, both of you." That's from Philip Bailey. And then we have Marcel Legrand. He says, "Did you all see Wendy's new video he posted this week?" I think Sparky mentioned that. I was watching one of the shows.
Yeah, I said quit dreaming about flying stunt and get back to building or something to that effect. We all miss you. Come on back. He'll be back. They all do.
He said he's got a few in his message on there. He said he's got a few more bike rides and a few more flights left in him yet, he figures.
Oh, good. I'm glad he included that. Then Philip Bailey says, "Jim, stay out of the hospital. Those doctors will get you with all their medications." Yeah.
Well, that's for sure. Got a lot of that. A lot of medications.
Yeah, I bet you do. That's what they do, write scripts.
Hey, Jim, I want you to tell that story about going to Bill Werbage's house when you were a kid at that 40 years.
Oh, gosh.
To pick up that Aries.
Well, okay, it started off in Kokomo, Indiana in 1962. And I had built an airplane called the Adonis, and it was an I-beam with forward trailing edge and real thin back end. And in fact, it was so thin I had to put fiberglass on it to make it quit wobbling around. So we were at Kokomo, and Bill, I was still in junior, and Bill was in senior. And he said, "Can I fly your airplane?" And I said, "Yeah." Well, Bill didn't realize I fly a little tail or a little nose heavy rather, and he flies tail heavy.
Oh.
So he come down off the, I'll never forget it. He came down off the reverse wing and went straight into the ground.
Oh, no.
Even broke the engine into 2 pieces.
Oh, no.
So he says to me, "Well, I've got an extra Aris that I just finished up. If you want to come out to the house, I'll give it to you." And I said, "Okay." So a friend of mine, who also was a modeler at the time, and we got into my 63 Ford 427 with dual quads, and and we're heading across I-70, and there's not another car on the road anywhere. And I look in the mirror, and there's some red lights. So I knew he had to be after me, so I pulled over, waited on him to get there, and so he pulled up, and got out, he was really mad, and he got out, and he slammed that trooper hat on his head, walked up to the car, and he says, "Do you know how far I've been chasing you?" And I said, "No, sir, I just saw your lights in the mirror," and pulled over, and he said, "Okay, get out of the car, you're under arrest." And anyway, so he wrote me a ticket for 141 miles an hour.
Whoa.
My 63 Ford. So anyway, we spent the night in the slammer and got to Bill's house the next day. And anyway, it all ended up really good. So I got a brand new Aries and
a ticket.
Pardon me?
And the ticket.
You paid the ticket, right, Jim?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I had to go to court. Yeah. Oh,
all right, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear you.
They wasn't going to let me go. I had to go to court. I had to call my mother. I had to call my mother and said, "Wire him some money, will you please, so I can get out of here."
Did you ever get the Aries?
Yeah, I had it. Eventually, at the end of the season, around September, October, I told Bill, I said, I haven't flown, I have never touched the thing. I've said, I've never flown it. I used to have a Fox 35, but it got broken into two pieces, so I can't really put an engine in it. So, so anyway, so I called Bill and I said, would you like to have it back? And he said, well, yeah, I could sure use it. So this time he drove to Indianapolis to pick up the airplane. I didn't take it back to him because I wasn't getting on I-70 in Ohio again. So basically that was the story. Yeah, I spent the night in the slammer, and my friend who wasn't driving, he had to just wait in a lobby, like a waiting room, until I got out of court, and so then I had some money wired to the court and paid for it. I don't remember how much it was, but I kept that ticket with me for probably 15 years, and I had it in my billfold, and I don't know, something happened. I lost my billfold somewhere and lost the ticket. So.
Oh man.
You just wanted to show everybody that your car would do 141, right?
141. Yeah, he wrote me a ticket for 141.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just a stock 427. Only I had taken off the stock carburetors and put on 2 4-barrel Hollies, and put in, well, and I had I can't even remember what you call them anymore, the exhaust that used to dump out, and we just take the ends off, and so that you bypass the muffler.
Like a Lakes pipe.
Laker pipes.
Yeah, you bypass the muffler, so I had them open, and I was flying.
Yeah, John Miller had a question.
There was no arguing with the guy, I mean, he was already mad. And last thing I was going to say, oh, well, you must have something wrong with your equipment.
Yeah,
I probably got a stick right between my eyes.
Yeah, smart man.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the story.
Go ahead, John Miller.
Well, I've got something to share whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you new computer, yeah, let's see if you can share.
Yeah. Can you make it so I can share?
Yeah, let me do it right now. There you go. You can share now.
All right. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is.
You still remember how to do this, John? Very good. I'm impressed.
Right.
Wow, yeah.
Did it show up yet?
Cool.
Yeah, looks nice.
That's the Trailblazer right now. And these check marks back here, that's 1/16 inch balsa that's on the diagonal, going one way one side and the other way the other side. And the core is foam. And as you can see here, where is it? There it is. There's the nose situation on it. And there's the, I had to do these elevations to figure out how much wood needed to be done to make the pod up here. It took a little while. Over here, I'm starting to lay out the cut files. I've got parts laying over here that I've been pulling out. I like the cut files because it makes it so much easier to build the airplane.
Yeah.
So that's it. This is the profile version. I am going to do a full bodied version as well. So but that'll be a little while yet. Let me see if I can get this. There we go.
John, what kind of foam do you put in there? What do you have in there?
Well, you can use just about, you can use green foam, pink foam, or the white beaded foam.
Mm-hmm.
The pink foam and the green foam sands a lot easier.
Okay.
Let me show you this here. I have a option here to make the back end a little stiffer. That's this one right here. This is the cross section at the same place this one is, but if you curve it like that, and then you all know about, that's why Detroit makes curved sides on the cars. It makes it much stronger. And so that's the white foam, the white beaded foam can be lighter, but it's harder to sand. But it's not that much heavier than like the green foam. The green foam is the easiest to sand.
Yeah.
And the blue foam is right in there with it. Go on, get back here. So anyway, any other questions?
Well, it really looks really nice. I'd like to see it when it's done.
Me too.
I can imagine.
John, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What kind of the doublers used for the fuselage? 16th balsa?
Well, there's actually
no, but the balsa on a back section of the fuselage.
Back section is 16.
Two of them.
And it's pardon?
It's two of them. Bias at 45.
Bias at 45. Yeah.
Yep. If you use it once,
one going one. One
here's
going one
what
way
I
on
have
one
to say
side.
about that. 164 plywood is lighter than the two layers.
I know.
Okay.
I know, but I know, and I myself like to use it, but most people don't have ready access to 64th, and it's expensive, and they've got 16th-inch balsas, so
aircraft spruce is relatively inexpensive.
Yes, it is, but not everybody knows that yet. But no, you're absolutely right. I like 64th. I've done many of them in 64th. But then on the other side, see, this is a 3/4 inch thick fuselage.
Is this your end design, John?
Yeah. It's based on the Pathfinder, obviously. You can see it in it.
Yeah.
But it's a bit different than the Pathfinder. And
horizontal stab is screaming SV11 to me.
Well, this predates the no, it doesn't. The SC11 came up before this, before the Pathfinder. But this is actually a Pathfinder stab, an elevator.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's very similar.
Yeah. And anyway, like I say, this is 3/4 inch thick, which meant that this has to be 5/8 in the center. And so when I get here, and I've got 3/4 here, I've got a 16th inch medium hard, not ply, but I'm using balsa. One could use ply if they wanted, on both sides of that to bring that up to 3/4. And then I've got 1/2 inch and 1/4 on each side to make up the pod. And I did that because this is set up for, I mean, probably the smallest engine on it would be an OS 46, LA 46, and up to I wouldn't be afraid to put. Well, I'm going to put a Stalker 51 on it. I could put a Stalker 60 on it. So it's designed for a 60 size profile.
Oh, wow. Nice.
It's 648 square inches.
Hey, John, on the back side of the fuselage where you show foam,
Yeah.
do you have there too? Is it just foam?
Do I have what?
Do you have, when you cut it out, do you still have small kind of vertical ribs inside the fuselage, or is that just all foam?
It's all foam.
Okay.
It's kind of like a foam wing, Bob.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah.
It looks pretty.
So anyway,
John,
so that's
from memory.
What's the wing look like, John?
Oh, I'd have to bring it up, but it looks like a path. It looks like a Pathfinder LE wing.
Okay.
It's a little bit different, but it looks a lot like that. It's tapered leading edge. This has a slightly tapered, forward tapered trailing edge on it. And I did that because I read somewhere somebody told me that a slight forward side of leading edges helps a little bit in the wind. So I didn't want to go too far with it. It's just a little bit.
And it also looks good too.
Oh, yeah, it does. Okay, guys. So thanks.
Very nice, Sean.
Yeah, it looks good, John.
Okay.
Is your engine, John? Is your engine tilted? Is your engine tilted down a degree and a half or so?
No, it's my engine is right at 90 degrees to the fuselage. I see it. Yes, it's got down thrust in it. That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got.
Because you used to.
Go ahead.
I think from memory, you used to put a bit of incidence on your tailplane, or you can do it at the front too.
It's got a degree of positive on the tail.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, it's got a degree of positive on the tail and 2 degrees down thrust on the thrust.
Planes There's no out thrust. No out thrust anywhere.
Just enough out thrust to make sure there's no in thrust. In other words, if I can.
What do you do?
Go ahead.
What do you do for line tension when you're up high?
I've never had to worry about it. I adjust my lead outs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flying 10-foot lines.
You know what?
There's 2 questions there. What was it? What was your question? Was that?
No, not a question. I said I'm going to put a degree down thrust on mine too.
Are you?
Yep.
I'd say every plane that I've set up with some down thrust and that little bit of positive, I have not had hunting problems. The planes have locked in almost right from, if not from the first flight, from the second or third. It's made a huge difference in the way my planes fly, and that takes care of fighting it, so much, and it seems to work in both directions, right side up and upside down. So I did that on the biplane, and the biplane may have trouble with its weight doing the squares, and I'm going to fix that. I figured out how to fix that. I'm going to put a big electric motor on it. So I've got the power. Instead of having a power lag with the IC, I'll have the power right there.
Try thinner airfoils on
those airfoils are 8 or 9% on those airfoils.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you got variable wingtip where your lines run out? Can you adjust that?
Yes.
You must have them back a fair bit. You must have them back a fair bit, John, if you don't have any.
No, I go by mine usually wind up somewhere. Old Ted Fancher wrote a long time ago, his rule of thumb was where your CG is, put your thumb up there and put start out with a leading line right at the edge of your thumb. So you got the one edge on the CG mark, the other, you bring it, the line up there. And then if you need a little more, you can move it up a little bit or move it back a little bit. Right in that area, it seems to work real well for me.
So where is the where will the
CG.
CG be, you hope, on this thing?
Right there where I've got the,
Okay.
right there.
Oh, I see. I couldn't see it on the long shot. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that means that my lead outs will be probably centered right about where that is now.
And where will your bell crank shaft go?
Right here. Just slightly behind.
Basically, about a couple of millimeter behind the CG. Roughly.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And
So
here,
you'll have bugger all pull out on that.
Here's an interesting thing. Here's an interesting thing about how to get your planes to land really good and do those main wheel landings. That's from where the rubber meets to the tread meets the pavement.
Right.
And I found
what do you have to ensure?
Pardon?
What's special about the landing gear?
The landing gear is wire, torsion mounted wire. It's a soft. I like to use a soft foam wing. This 17 degrees, I found that the range for good landings, like team racers use 14 degrees, but they're coming in hot and heavy. And I found between 17 and 19 at no more further forward than 19 for pavement, in my opinion. But that gives you those beautiful main wheel landings. You come down and your gear hits the deck and it just locks on. It just doesn't bounce. It just locks.
I love that.
Yeah, I do too. So, but any other questions there?
Yeah, once you're down, you want to stay down. It's a nice plane, John.
Well, thank you so very much. And as I get further along, when I get the cut sheets done, I'll share them with you here. And also, if you want to see how I use the cut sheets on Stunt Hangar under CAD Classics, there's one on using cut sheets or using pattern sheets to cut your parts. And you can really cut your parts fast and get very, very close to the same accuracy you can get with a laser. Not completely, but very close. And I'll go in there, like on that German twin that I had. Oh, I still have it. I cut all those parts for that airplane in like 3 hours from start to finish. So using that method, and it works a treat. It's a whole lot cheaper for us poor boys than CAD cutting. Okay, well,
One more question, John.
Yeah.
One more question, if I may. Are the wings the same length? Are the wings the same length?
I believe they are. If they aren't, there's only like about a 1/2 to 5/8 of an inch difference.
You say that your aircraft generally you don't give any outward indication or bias on the engine or the rudder. Most of your aircraft are symmetrical. Both wings the same. What do you call it? Asymmetrical? I don't know, but they're both wings are the same generally on your aircraft.
Well, most of my aircraft have been a little bit longer on the inboard. Like I say, between a 1/2 inch to 5/8 to no more than 3/4 of an inch. But I've been reading up a little bit, and there is some thought, and so I wanted to try it about there is a point to be made for having equal span. So I thought I'd try it.
I can put a lot of input into that if you want.
Thank you. I'd appreciate it.
I'll let you guys finish up here.
Okay. So, yeah, but one of the reasons I think that I get away without having to have any out thrust, see all this area up here in front of the in front of the CG?
Yeah, plenty of meat.
Yeah,
Side on.
yeah. So that's probably why I get away with it.
It's like a
Okay.
rudder at the front.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like it's kind of the same thing. Remember the old Russian stunners that had the big tall canopies on it? I think they were
Yeah.
doing the same thing with.
Got to be a reason for it, John. If you don't put any bias anywhere, you don't have problems up high. There's got to be a reason for it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
why would you need offset to have tension up high?
That's a good question. I don't think we do, but
A lot of people
there's
think
a lot
that
of people
you
that
have
do.
to have that you put so much level flight tension in the airplane for security, then they wonder why they don't have any tension upstairs. And they just keep adding tension downstairs. They keep offsetting the motor and offsetting the rudder, and they keep losing tension upstairs. And what you want to do is reduce all that. No rudder offset, very little motor offset, lead outs forward, and you'll get more vertical line tension.
Yeah.
Yep.
It won't be like, look at it like a race car scrubbing the wall when it understeers in Indy or something, right? It scrubs off speed and then hence, scrub off tension. You want to go forward, not out. But like John said, that forward area on the airplane is very important, in my opinion. And the reason is, well, this whole thing is like gets into a long thing. But you got to remember that we have, in most cases, you have single motor airplanes. Not in my case nowadays, but most of them. And you have spiral airflow. Spiral airflow is probably the biggest force on our model airplane, much more than P factor or any of that stuff. Spiral airflow, if you think about it, it's going around the airplane with normal rotation propeller. You're hitting the bottom of the inside wing, top of the outside wing, round the fuselage, bottom of the inside stab, top of the outside stab. But more important, you're hitting the left side of the vertical fin, which has more of its area above the vertical center of gravity, right?
Okay.
Okay, so that spiral airflow is hitting the fin on the left, forcing it outward. Now, you have a balance point, not to be confused with center of gravity. That's not the balance point necessarily. The balance point of the airplane is very far forward. And you have all this pressure pushing out on the left side, pushing the left side of the fin outward. So what's it going to do?
Going to turn in on you.
It's going to push a nose in. But moreover, since more of the area is above the vertical center of gravity, it's also going to do a right roll. So you're going to get a left yaw, right roll component. Right?
Okay.
Okay, so and I've always found that my airplanes with big wheel pants fly better in the wind. And one of the reasons is that when you're downwind, you have the whole thing is exacerbated by the fact that the wind is blowing also, not just the spiral airflow from the prop, but the wind is hitting that vertical fin too, trying to force the nose in. Right?
Right.
So if you were to put some area forward, and in my case, I believe in putting it down too, like wheel pants, now the wind pressure will hit both of them and even it out. You won't have an airplane that's tending to do a right roll left yaw so much. And I've often found, or in every case I found, when I put wheel pants on my airplanes to fly off asphalt, they fly much better, especially in the wind, than they do with the spatted gear or just wired gear.
Okay.
I believe that.
So that's one of the reasons I put big canopies on my airplanes, and is that, of course, Igor believes in this too. Forward area is as important or more important than aft area.
Well, hey,
So
Bob,
instead of getting the plane like a glider, if it's sliding around sideways in the air, it's flying messy. It's producing turbulence and drag. If it's in the groove, it's going to hang in there much better.
And your thoughts on the symmetry, Bob?
Thoughts on the symmetry? Well, that's a good question because I've done them both ways over the years. And just recently, I've done it both ways too. Al Raby believed in equal panel airplanes, and he found that they were much easier to trim. And I found that to be true too. But the problem is you have to carry more tip weight.
Right.
And it's a delicate balance between a tip bang and an airplane that, that you're just carrying too much tip weight. I just recently built an airplane with eagle panels just to go back and visit it again because all my airplanes that I had the major wins with were all equal panel airplanes. And for some reason they worked okay. But this newest one, I'm having a bear of a time getting it flight trimmed with the right amount, trying to keep the weight out of the airplane, the outboard wingtip. It's a bear. So
How much weight?
I would
How much
recommend
weight are you
half to
normally
five. I would recommend half to 5/8 of an inch of offset.
How much weight are you normally using in the wingtip?
Well, it depends on the airplane.
Well, you're
You know, with an airplane that's got some asymmetrical stability to it, nominally maybe 3/4 of an ounce, and then if you go to equal panel airplane, you're as much as an ounce and a half.
Yeah. See, I'm running a 1/4 ounce is all I run at tip weight, but I got 1 1/4 inch of symmetry.
There you go. Well, yeah, okay. Well, that can cause other problems too if you get too much asymmetry. You get a rolling component. You got to remember, airplanes are traveling in a circle, and because of that, they're flying some degree tangent to the circle in order to be hanging out there. And because of that, the outboard wing, at the root of the outboard wing, is blanketed to a degree. It's not flying directly into the wind, it's flying angled to the wind a little bit. So your outboard flap, which is now your shorter flap, becomes even shorter yet.
Mine's 3/8 of an inch wider at the tip.
Okay, well that's good, and that's the way to get around that to a degree. But you got to remember that if you're flying in a circle, a portion of that outboard wing is blanketed. That makes the inboard flap more effective. Yeah, making the outboard flap wider or longer tends to compensate for that. And I wish I could give you an exact number, but
there's not.
It's one of those.
Yeah, you got to build airplane after airplane and try.
Yeah, they are.
Try it, a different way each time to see what's better.
One of the reasons I went to twins, one of the main reasons, was to get rid of all that spiral airflow effect around the fuselage. There's no more drag. There's no more of hitting the vertical fin on the one side or the other. One nice thing about the reverse pitch props on electric is now the spiral airflow on a single engine airplane is hitting the vertical fin on the right side, forcing the tail in and the nose out. So if you've ever had a situation in a dead calm, when you hit your own turbulence at the bottom of a maneuver,
yeah,
with a standard rotation,
yeah,
with a standard rotation prop, the airplane wants to come at you.
Mm-hmm.
With a reverse rotation prop, it wants to go away.
Yep.
Wow, interesting.
Been there. Charles, can I show you something before the spinner falls off?
Yeah, let me make it big.
I've just got to...
Before the spinner falls off.
Hey, thanks for shutting me off there, Charles. I was busy trying to finally got to it, and you've done it for me. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. You're welcome.
Hey, look at that.
Hey, what is this? This your Hurricane?
The Hurricane. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're making progress.
Coming along.
Yeah, it is.
Starting to get there.
Yeah, very good.
But Sparky, my outboard wing, I made a bigger flap there, wider flap like you were saying on your program a while back, a couple of weeks back.
Right.
We were just talking about.
How much symmetry is on that airplane? How much longer?
Pardon?
Wait, how much longer is the inboard wing?
It is unfortunately probably almost a whole bay.
Oh, you're gonna need.
In fact, yeah, it is. It's just under a whole bay.
And how wide's the bay? 2 inches?
In inches, that would be. The bay. Oh God, I don't know. I work in millimeters, mate. Hang on. I'm illiterate in inches, mate.
I understand.
I'm illiterate in meters, in metric.
Yeah, that's the exact.
I don't know why you guys don't go metric. It's real
because
easy
it's
for
backwards. It's terrible. How are you going to measure thousands in metric?
It would be real easy. It'd be real good for your president to go metric.
No.
Heck, he could barely go. Well, anyway.
What are you in Canada? You metric?
Yeah. We go both ways
Much better,
here.
isn't it?
We go
Yes,
both
we
ways.
sort
We
of
can
go.
do either one.
Here, our medicines
Okay,
are
it's
metric.
How many
Yeah,
millimeters?
about 2 inches each bay, which is about, I don't know, 50 something millimeter.
Yeah, it's 50
I'm
millimeters.
just trying to measure in inches now.
That's right.
So it would be, mine would be about 40 millimeter, an inch and a half, maybe, inch and three quarter.
We'll ask Bob a
Bigger on the
question.
inside.
We'll ask Bob a question. Do you remember what the All-American outboard flap is, Bob?
3.5.
What the All-American, the differential is?
Yeah, what's the width on the outboard?
3 inches differential.
It's 3.5, I think.
The width. What is the width at the tip on the outboard flap?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, the width. Do you want to know my width?
No, All-American.
Oh.
Well, the All-American has fixed flaps. It's about a 10-inch cord. Tick more in the at the root, but the tips are both the same.
Oh, they're both the same.
Oh,
It's a
thank God
constant
for
cord
that. I thought I
wing.
was going to have to get a 6 meter tape.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the All-American is
What about
constant
the
cord
All
wing with no
Australian?
flaps. And
There
it's
was an
about
airplane called the
about
All
3.5
Australian.
inches.
What was that like?
The what?
The All Australian. That was an airplane.
The All Australian, yeah.
I'm just
That
trying
was
to
an
think
eco
of another
span, I
airplane that
think.
had 2 inches of symmetry.
Wow.
A Nobler, the original Nobler.
Yeah.
Well, so did the Aries and the Smoothie.
And the Magician.
Well, you can always glue a piece of clear plastic on the tip like Billy does.
Hey,
Lots of those.
Hey, John Miller.
Yeah.
I got a question. Did you say you put some swept forward trailing edge in that airplane?
Yes, just slightly.
How much?
I think 4 or 5 degrees.
Be interesting for check something for me when you get a chance. Take the quarter cord at the tips, the quarter cord at the tip rib, and the quarter cord at the root rib, and position them where they're going to be with the swept forward trailing edge, and see what the orientation is between them.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that'd
Okay.
be it.
The reason
Yeah.
I'm mentioning that is because I did the swept forward trailing edge thing. I love it. All my airplanes have it now. To reduce the stick load in wind, because when you deploy the flaps, the average you're deploying them at is further forward on the wing, and you're moving the center of pressure less aft from the balance point. That's why they turn easy. Plus, it also gives you an effectively longer tail moment arm, because for the same reason. And I thought that was the only reason to use that. And when Dean Pappas looked at my airplane, he says, "Oh, you did a really neat thing here." I said, "What was that?" He said, "Well, you essentially have an airplane that thinks it's a constant chord wing." So what are you talking about? He said, "You looked at the quarter cord at the tip rib, and the quarter cord at the root, and the quarter cord at the other tip forms a straight line."
Yeah, yeah. I see where you're
Where on a
going.
normal tapered wing, it's about nominally a 4.6 degree sweep in the quarter cord line. And he said, that's why the airplane flies better in the wind. He says it's because constant chord airplanes fly great in the wind.
Yeah. I'll have to check that out. If it isn't straight, I'll make it straight.
That airplane right there, it's got that 1 7/16 per panel swept forward, and the quarter cord line is straight. Goes right. It's a straight line from the quarter cord at the tip through the root quarter cord to the tip quarter cord.
Wow, that I had.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's good information.
Yeah.
So that's why I was told that a slightly swept forward trailing edge is better in the wind.
Mm-hmm. Easier to turn in the wind, for sure.
Well, yeah.
They turn like they're on ball bearings in the wind.
Uh-huh. Cool. I need all the help I can get, Bob. I'm getting too old.
Don't we all?
I'm too old to finesse it anymore.
Never too old.
Well,
Hey, Charles.
I want to believe that, Jonathan.
Hey, Charles.
Yeah, Jim.
Have you heard anything from Keith?
I'm sorry. Say it one more time.
Have you heard anything from Keith
Well,
Chostrel?
except for Dennis Adamison, he said he was flying with Keith today.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Keith is
Where-
out here and we were flying together some. So
Where you at, Dennis?
I'm in Tucson.
Oh, yeah. It's that time, isn't it? Yeah.
That's it. I don't have any trouble, any excitement walking on bloody feet or anything like that. So
You didn't break any bones or anything? That's
no, I
good.
didn't break any bones. And
Is Jimmy Rhodes there already?
no, or not that
He'll
I've
probably be
seen
there
anyway.
tomorrow. He'll be there
I got a hunch I may be one of the first people here, but Keith has been here. He got here yesterday. I got here today, and as far as I know, I don't know of anybody else who's here. A lot of people coming in Saturday and Sunday. So
How's your gypsy flying?
Well,
I think it's going to work. It's just got 2 patterns on it. I need to so it needs some trimming, and but I think I'll be able to get through the week with it all right. It's got good power. It's got a nice corner. It's going to groove. Got a good beat. I'll give it a 75. What can I say? Easy to dance to.
Dick Clark would be proud of you.
That's it. Well, you talked
Showing
about,
your age.
driving all this way I drove by myself and everything. Well, I didn't quite. Bob Seger, Buddy Holly, the Count, the Duke, and the King of Swing helped me across town, across the country. So,
Jackson Brown and the Grateful Dead got me across. Billy and I. We used to work out the harmonies,
Yeah.
better harmonies for all their songs.
Yeah.
King of Swing, that's Benny Goodman, isn't it?
Yeah.
No. I got a couple of
Those trips, I made 9 trips out there with Billy, and the trip out and back was equal fun, if not more, than the actual time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, hey, I do have a sidebar, a non-modeling sidebar for you folks. I was talking to Steve Hines earlier tonight, and he said that Samantha gave birth to a baby boy on February 3rd.
Wow.
Mom and son are doing fine, and whatever. So I think the last we had seen is Steve. He was telling us that Samantha was pregnant and all that kind of stuff. So I just thought some folks would like an update. That's all.
Dennis, I thought she was still flying junior.
Yeah. What can I
time
say,
passes
Jim?
you
I'm
by,
out here
Doug.
and they still calling me kid, so anything's possible. So
Oh, man.
Hey guys, I think we've reached the end of the live stream portion of the show. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. So hopefully we'll get back together Monday, and hopefully you have a chance to tell us what you've been up to, whether you've been flying or working in your shop. So until then, fair winds